better. It's gonna grow you. Character, pressure makes diamonds, but you gonna be with that lame who don't require nothing, don't make you stand up to nothing, and it's gonna deteriorate your character because it's weakness. But hey, do what you want to do, man. You with a lame, you a lame to me. That's why I look at a woman and I judge her based off the nigga. It was broad in there, right? Maybe I shouldn't say this. It was broad in there. She picked the dude. I was like, man, I was gonna with her, but I see her type, man. She got bad taste about this motherfucker. You can't put that nigga that come. I liked you before I seen what you chose. You chose that. That just let me know your mind, baby. You can't jump from a mother. Toyota Corolla to a motherfucking Rolls Royce. Now that I seen your last nigga, oh nah, baby, you got to get the Benz first before you can come over here. I'm not gonna be the come up. You know what I'm saying?
You got to upgrade yourself on the way up to the top.
Man.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
But they try to do that. You know what I mean? And it's shocking that they get upset with our thoughts when we tell them the truth.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been told the truth for so long.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, that's
so when they hear that truth, it just decomposes their understanding.
It's that whole paradigm.
I would never. Like, we like that, right? I would never. You could never.
Yeah, you could never.
How do you see you and me? How would you ever think you could denounce the God?
Right.
Yeah, you crazy?
Yeah.
Look at you. Relax.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Hey, man, and most of these bras, man, I ain't speaking specifically about yesterday, but just in general, man, I be talking to these bras. I be like, you're annoying as how did you get this far in life with such a shitty like there's a couple bras on there, it's like it's disgusting. Who puts up with this? Who would want to be around this?
On Android.
Never had to develop characters. Everybody trying to come get in their pants. It could be stupid, bird brain, say the weirdest, and they just be like,
Here we go.
okay.
Live.
So they never had to develop.
Support Mr. Organic. We on his live. I'm crashing your live.
Because it teaches her. That's how I got the game when I was coming up with my uncles. He'd smack me on the back. My, what you just say? You doing this? You doing that? That's what these women need to be able to develop themselves. Because you can't be stupid walking around.
I can't sustain my thought pattern because I move at such a high level. Anything outside of that, some stupidity, I'm gonna check it right away.
Yeah.
And it might be harsh, but you gotta adjust your mind frame around me.
Exactly.
Like, because I can't relent that. I'm too old. I'm too gone. This is the way I operate, and it's gonna better you. Might come out a little sharp, but just take that how you take it, baby, and adjust. I don't mean no harm, but you take it as harm, that's on you. But I want you to be better.
Exactly.
And the ones that can sustain that, they could be around me, which is very rare. You know what I'm saying?
And it's really up, man, and I'd say it all the time, man. Society has brainwashed men into feeling like, nigga, we always gotta we gotta fix. Why do women go out? Hey, even her grandma say, man, what type of job does that man have? She's always looking for a man of value. Dudes have not been trained to look for a woman of value. You be getting brainwashed by Cinderella, man. The prince walking down the peasant,
he tripping,
all running around the city. Come on, that's brainwashing. That is brainwashing at a young age.
I want Sleepy Beauty. That was a queen. I'd have woke that up.
For a man to be out here not requiring nothing from a woman, and so a woman is mad when I'm like, "What you bring to the table?" Right? And she has nothing to say because you really bring nothing most of the time. You know what I'm saying?
And then all the guys that doing, there's plenty of guys that do want to just have a woman and she don't got to do nothing. That's fine. We're just on two different plateaus of life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go find that guy that's on your plateau. I'm not that guy. I'm requiring everything. Same I look for myself, I want it to you. Say that you want to say, you want to. Yeah, I do. I want to have a whole lot too. Damn right. I ain't trying to build you up and save your life. I got my nephews and grandmother. I want to save them.
Right. And not only is you not coming with something, you're not coming with something, and you expect me to convince you to with me. I'm gonna tell you a cold story, right?
Let me hear that.
You know this dude, his name John, he from Seattle, man, cold player. And he was like, man, I'm not about to convince this broad to deal with me. He would tell a broad, hey, listen, the same way you made all those poor decisions make sense to get you in the place you are in life, make this make sense. I'm not gonna make it make sense. You made all those poor decisions make sense to get you where you are. So you make this make sense. I'm not gonna make it make sense.
Yeah, that's
.com.
I always say this too to women, like, I don't want to tell you what to do and how to be, you know what I'm saying, a good woman for me. You figure it out. You find the missing pieces to my puzzle. You understand me? You add me another little section over there I didn't even know I could have. Build me a little cottage. I didn't even know that was part of the puzzle. Damn. That's going to look better than me telling you, baby, go find this over there. God, that's more work. That's more work I got to do.
You know
what I'm saying? Come with it.
Now, I would love a woman who coming with something that I didn't even know I needed. It's a song. It's a song, and she say, I'm going to give my man what he didn't even know he wanted. I always play that for my bras in the car. I'll be like, listen to this bra right here.
Right.
Listen to what she just said. She said, I'm gonna give my man what he didn't even know he wanted.
That's where it's
pay
at.
attention to that song and do that. But I'm not naive to know like these bras don't know nothing. So if I'm waiting on a bra to do something for me, man, I might be waiting all day. So baby, let me go ahead and direct you on what I did.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Because
tough.
I might be waiting all day for that.
So then if I'm doing that now, once again, that's more adding to you.
I got to give to you just to take from you.
I'm giving more of my attributes. So understand what's here, right? If I'm breaking down everything and feeding you all this good understanding, so worship be even higher. You understand me? Take my socks off now. You understand me? I should never take my socks off myself. I had to take off my shoe. I did that. Take the sock off.
I shouldn't even have to ask you to come give me a massage. Don't make me have to tell you. Come on, you know I went to the gym. Come on, You got to have some initiative. Because if you ain't bringing nothing to the table, at least bring that. But that's why I said before when we was talking, when we come into this situation, the dynamic, we can't meet right here. Because when you meet right here, you don't do things like that. But when you recognize my value in comparison to yours, then you're doing those type of things. But you want to come in and say we both the prize? Nope, we're not both the prize.
It's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, it's gonna be a problem.
Find that little guy. You gotta go find Gooball Jamal. You know what I'm saying? You gotta find Lame Leonard.
Right.
They waiting on you.
Yeah,
you can't get the epitome of glory of every man want to be in life and think I'm gonna conform to you, baby.
Yeah.
We don't add up.
Yeah, man.
Ain't nothing about you above me, baby.
Yeah,
and I ain't trying to disrespect you.
Yeah.
Like I said, women say I know my worth. God bless you.
Yeah,
we got delusions of grandeur in life. I understand that. I got a little delusion in me. I said it earlier, right?
Yeah.
But we got some statistical findings here too now.
Yeah.
We're gonna go off height. We're gonna go off the size and money. Let's add it all up.
Yeah.
Are you beating me?
Yeah.
So why are we even having this discussion, baby? You know that's why you pick me. You always a pick up. So goddamn, get your ass up here and stay.
But
up
let
here
me
with
say this though too, right? Because at the end of the day, you're right. Like, you got this attribute. But even to dudes, it's like, I don't care if I got none of those. I'm only fucking with the broad who see me like that. And somebody else there that will. Like, I don't care if I got nothing. I'm still only going to fuck with the broad who see me like that. And it's always one out there. It might take you a long time to find her. Right. It's a bum on the corner with a broad.
Right.
So, but even when I was younger, didn't have nothing. I was only dealing with women who liked me like that. You know what I'm saying?
I wish I had that game when I was younger, bro.
But it's okay, bro. You got it now. You still got a long time to live. So you're in them clubs. Like the woman that look at you first. Look you up and down, nudge you. Oh, I like the outfit. What?
Yeah.
Man, see,
You so talk. What's up?
This nigga said it's all right, brother.
I don't
He
need
said I wish
every
I
woman
had
in the
that in
world.
the
I just
beginning.
need
It's all right,
a
brother.
handful in this world.
It's all right, brother. You got it now. You got it now, blood gang.
With this personality, I don't need most women. I just need a handful, and I've never not been able to find a handful of women who's getting with what I'm talking about. Never. It's never been a time in life that I was not able to find a handful of women who go with me the way I wanted to.
I'm not mad at no woman.
Yeah,
Once
me neither.
again, let me break this down. I'm mad at no woman that don't like what I bring or what I say. That's fine.
Yeah.
I wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people like you say, like a Toyota. They don't like an Aston Martin or Ferrari. They don't like, you know what I'm saying, overlooking Brickell. They like to be in goddamn Opalaka.
And Opalaka.
Beef patties. I like it.
Oh,
I get it. Everybody got the business.
in the hood.
I do.
You know, or she might want that 50-year-old tech millionaire trick. That ain't in shape.
That's for you.
I ain't mad at you.
Look goofy with a nigga that everybody look at this. You know it.
I ain't mad at you. Right.
You want to walk with something that you proud to look at my man. You don't want that. You want everybody to know that you got a trick on your own.
I don't understand it though. That's the part I don't be getting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all said, like you're not mad at her, and I don't think I'm mad at the either. But it's also like you're fucking retarded. How do you not want the better man? How do you not want that?
You know, man, when I first moved here to Miami, man, and me and my son was staying in a hotel while we was getting our spot ready. Walking down the street, and it was one of these places with all the homeless people that was doing drugs, and my son was real concerned. And I said, son, you got to learn this early in life.
They don't want that nigga because they can't control.
Doing heroin has nothing to do with me. So we talk about these bras. How could you not? I don't give a.
Let them be this.
Your life off. I don't care about the nigga down the street doing heroin, shooting heroin. I told my son, in life, worry about yourself and the things you're doing.
Let them be miserable. Let them have their pink G-Wagon with this 50-year-old fat.
It's
in the spot.
That's not even her name.
Oh, that you come home like, God damn, I gotta him tonight. Like, every night for 20 years, you miserable, stupid.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Go ahead,
that's the reality behind closed doors.
Because you want to be comfortable and don't gotta work and sit up and eat
exactly.
eggs and bacon every day.
Hey,
you're right.
You're right. And this is what these bras don't realize. You got a trick. So guess what? Always remember what you got. And you were his sugar baby today, but he's a trick. It's going to be a newer and better one than you later. So if you ain't putting some aside, if you ain't got the game to tell you, hey, we need to invest in something, put something in my name, it's only going to be a matter of time.
Don't get them niggas. They are smart people now.
Right.
So only if you really run it up y'all barely hit that lick now.
Hey, that's the thing about these bras, man. These bras don't even got no game.
That's the bad part.
They be with these multi-millionaires, and the best they getting out of them is $500 a month payment or $1,500 apartment.
That nigga laced me with that game yesterday.
You're not even breaking on a trick like you supposed to. But it's a bitch out here really breaking these niggas, really getting to the bag. He ain't really getting messed and all that. No, I could respect it if the bra really breaking you, really hurt. But you doing the most for the least, and you think it's cool. Yeah, taking some trips and
broke every time. Got to find another one.
Yeah,
God
man.
damn, you embarrassing. But if you run it up and that's your husband, you already got your name on something, got a corporation. I done seen a few of them. I salute you. You understand me?
Man, it was this broad they did an article on, man. She was like, she got like 20 different cars from sugar daddies, man. But guess what? These bras can't even get one. He just making the payments. He won't even cash you out. You know what I'm saying? So it's different though, because what these bras don't understand is what they bring to the table is very minimal. You bring in looks. You know, a high caliber woman who really know how to break these tricks for a whole lot of money. They're bringing other attributes. You know, they're bringing these other attributes. It might be an educated woman. She can have a conversation. He could take her around his colleagues. You're able to elevate with him to these other women. He just sees you as a little piece of fine ass that he could bring around and kind of show off. He don't see you as nothing more. But you got to elevate your game to be able to get in position where he feel like he could take you other places. You got to have your etiquette right. You got to know what fork to use. You got to make him look good. You got that motherfucking BBL. That's a circus act in front of his business partner.
Come on now.
You know, you get it. You know, you just get the fillers, man. You know, it's so many things that I see these women out here. I'm like, you don't even know how to hold properly. So I don't even respect it. I respect the real hoe who really doing it for real.
I talked about it the other day with a chick. I was telling her, like, yeah, you got the BBL, but you probably was a 5 your whole life. Now your body at 8, 9, right? For the average guy. And we gonna break it down a little more, but it's okay. But to the average thirsty, right? Yeah. But your mind is still a 5. Yeah. You've been a 5 your whole life. Yeah. You've been this body for 2 months. Yeah. Your brain haven't equipped it to understand that having this body and what you can do with it right now. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So like you ain't even caught up to the the ecosystem of your brain and got the new upgrade. Yeah. Your body got it, but your mind not. So now you run into a big shark, NBA niggas. It's ready to break you down. You don't even know. You just happy to fuck.
Yep, and you got it for the league.
You don't get a little Gucci bag. You could have had the goddamn big old Birkin. Yeah. But you don't even know that game yet.
You have no idea.
See what I'm saying? So by the time you catch on, you 5, 6 years stepped on with all type of niggas. Your name all up in the streets.
And niggas don't even want you no more.
Right? Women have no game because they've never had to develop it because their entire life. They've never had to have conversation. They've never had to talk to a dude. They don't even. Dudes are so easy. If these women really knew how easy it is to finesse a man, and they still can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's money
the
shame. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what? Like, I don't mean to cut you off. Like yesterday, you know what I'm saying? He had laced me with some when he was at the gas station. Nigga. That's why when you get her and you get her on the right program, you could take advantage of the fact that these niggas is thirsty as hell. Right. They're easy as hell. For sure. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, most of these don't have that game. They don't. So it's like if you get on the right program, nigga, you could just sit back and collect it.
Hell yeah, that's a teammate now. Exactly. Now you're not my cheerleader. Exactly. Now you're not a fan.
Exactly.
You're my teammate, baby.
Exactly.
What I eat, you eat. Where I go, you go.
Exactly.
What I buy, you. So we're going to win together.
For sure.
That's always better.
And you know what? This is another thing that completely changed my paradigm that he put me onto. It's just like, when you start looking at it like that, you start giving a fuck about what to look like. You could start looking at like what type of value can this bring, and most this can pull a nigga that's gonna give them some type of fucking money. Oh, sure. So it's just like you said, like one time you was dealing with a fat made millions off that.
Oh man, we can't talk about that.
Oh, that's my fault, man. Cut that out. But you know what I'm saying?
That was a movie. Yeah, I saw that movie.
But you know, like I said, like it's really just to put it in brief perspective. It's just like you should stop looking at it as like, okay, what I with this, look at it like, oh, what can this bitch do for me? How can she be valuable to me?
Yeah, man. In layman's terms, I was pretty much just saying, man, what can a bra bring to the table? See, a lot of dudes, they might see a woman who's overweight or a woman that's not his type and be like, I don't like her. I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at what can she bring to me. And it's not so much what she can bring to me, it's how much game do I have to understand her attributes that I can extract it. So when you have some game, yeah, she's not valuable to most men because she's not the most beautiful. She's not the slimmest. But to me, I have some game. So therefore, I know how to extract the value out of her if she can't. It's like a broken down business. To one person, they see a broken down business. Another business savvy individual knows, oh, if I get some click funnels on this, if I do the right marketing, if I do this, I could blow this business up. That's how I see when I'm looking at a woman. What can I add to this situation to extract some value? Because without me doing that, she's almost worthless to me.
Amen. And that's how we're going to end it.
And that's how we going to end it. Money Buddha. Let's go again. Good show. Now let's go back to our regularly scheduled program.
Wings.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to PS Ready, my channel all about PlayStation. This is the weekend video here on the channel where I cover the last bits of news that slipped by me in the middle of the week. In today's video, I've got 3 topics to cover. The first one is that your PS5 Pro is the best PS4 ever. Second on the list, we're going to talk about the plates situation with the PS5 Pro and when you can pre-order the new Chroma collection for your PS5 Slim. And finally, there are 60 confirmed games that'll get PS5 Pro enhancements at launch. I picked out some of the best ones that I think are going to be cool to play if you missed them or you played them at launch, realized they were not finished, and put them on your shelf to come back to later. All right, let's talk about this first news story here, which is that your PS5 Pro is about to become the best PS4 ever. So we know that there's 2 ways that the PS5 Pro is going to get better graphics and better performance than the current PS5. One of them is through PSSR. That is what I'm most excited about, just because I've played on PC for a few years now, and you know, there's a double-edged coin, double-edged sword, There's a double-edged sword situation going on here, because when DLSS was introduced, I immediately was terrified, because when you're using an upscaler to get better frame rates, I was like, oh, so developers are going to release their games unfinished and then tell people who have mid to high range GPUs to use DLSS if the games aren't performing right, and that's exactly what happened. We started getting games that were unfinished, and then developers would say, oh, if you're having issues with frame rate, just use DLSS or FSR. And that is a terrible solution, because you should finish your games before you release them, because they're not free and they cost money. Like, this isn't even a moral argument. This isn't even an argument in the first place. Finish your games before you release them. Can you imagine going to see Into the Spider-Verse and it's not finished, and then they say come back next week and you'll see all of the effects done? No, you can't, because that would never happen. I don't know why in video games that has become the norm, and I have to like be like, oh, but you know, on the one hand, game development takes a long time and it's hard, so they don't finish their games before they release them. I'm not defending that. That's stupid. You should finish your games. Sorry, getting back on track here. DLSS is awesome even when games are finished, because it gives you a better way to anti-alias your games, so the edges will be much cleaner, the lighting will look a lot nicer, everything will just look how it's supposed to, which is kind of crazy because it's using machine learning to upscale the game, and instead of using regular anti-aliasing or volumetric lighting or whatever that stuff is that you use in games, you'll get a better result from using DLSS. So knowing that PSSR is more similar to DLSS because it's hardware based instead of being software based like FSR, which has had terrible results on the PS5 this generation, I'm really excited about that feature. But something that's going underreported is this game boost feature, which is coming forward from the PS4 Pro, where even if a game doesn't get a patch for PSSR, the PS5 Pro is going to be able to take a look at that game and say, well, you know, I could clean up some of these rough edges, I could get the frame rate smoothed out, I could just make it a better experience overall. And if the developer doesn't go out of their way to tell the PS5 Pro not to do that, it's going to work in pretty much every PS4 game. And that's great, because there are so many PS4 games that still don't have even PS4 Pro patches or PS5 patches. The one I'm looking at, you guys know, is Bloodborne. That game's frame pacing is terrible. The resolution is super low. The actual frame rates are all over the map. And, you know, for some reason with the PS4 Pro, Sony basically told the console, not to let the game take advantage of the boost mode that the
my guy.
PS4 Pro had. But this time around, things seem a little different where the PS5 Pro is going to do it anyway, regardless of what the developer says, unless they specifically go out of their way to tell it not to. So unless Sony has some remake in the works, which I am becoming increasingly skeptical of just because we've heard rumors about it for years at this point and it's never come to fruition, we could finally get decent performance in a game like Bloodborne. Or, those mid-budget AA sort of games that are on the edge of being AAA games like Lords of the Fallen. They're hard at work on Lords of the Fallen 2. They're a much smaller studio than something like From Software or any of these other big AAA studios. So in the case that they don't want to go back and bake in a patch for PSSR to work, or, they don't want to actually clean up the game to let it take advantage of the PS5 Pro, maybe the PS5 Pro will be able to get the performance mode looking and running better, which would be great. We're going to talk about the 60 games that are getting, we're going to talk about some of the 60 games that are getting official support later on in the video, but again, I'm mostly curious about the games that aren't getting official support because we're in this situation where developers are facing layoffs all the time, of course, so they're losing staff that could go back and make patches for the PS5 Pro. Other developers don't really care. I mean, this is a PC issue, so it's not really relevant, super relevant, I would guess, to the PS5 situation, but Dead Space Remake, which is free right now on PS Plus Essential, EA released that game in a terrible state on PC. It was in a similar state on PS5. Unlike the PS5 version, they never went back and fixed the PC version of that game, so where you go up to doors on the PS5 version, you always see a little bit of a frame drop down to 57 FPS when the next part of the level is loading in. On a PC, no matter what hardware you have, you'll see a hard stutter where it looks like the game actually stops for 2 seconds while it loads in the next room, and because Dead Space takes place entirely on a ship, you're going between rooms constantly. So when you play it on PC, it's a stuttering mess. So there are plenty of examples of games like that are over on PS5 as well. So I'm really curious if this boost mode that the PS5 Pro has, in addition to PSSR, is going to be able to make these games look and run better than the developers actually put the work into making that. And I'm just getting increasingly sick of seeing excuses being made for this constantly. Like, I understand that these are companies and that the executives are making the shots, but even when developers would respond with that Dead Space situation on the Reddit, they would make it look like that there was no issue at all. Like, they'd say, oh, it must be your hardware. It's not your hardware. It's the fact that the game is coming out broken and unfinished, and you're selling it for full price at launch, hoping people will buy it and either not notice the major flaws with it or just wait 3 weeks to a month to get the patch, and then by that point it'll be on sale for 50 or 40 bucks, and then the people who waited a long time to actually play the game will get the better experience. I feel like the people, well, everyone should get a good experience, of course, but I feel like the people who buy it on day one for full price or pre-order it should get the best experience, and then everyone else will after that, because the best experience will have happened at launch. I mean, I could list 100 games, but I'll just talk about one more, Jedi Survivor. I was so excited for that game. I mean, I love Star Wars. I love Jedi Fallen Order. I know that game had issues at launch. I ended up playing it on PC because it was so terrible on the PS4 Pro, but Jedi Survivor was even worse somehow. You had pop-in. The quality mode was never at 30 FPS. It would always drop into the low 20s. If you played in performance mode, you were jumping between 28 FPS and 55 FPS. It hardly ever ran at 60 at all. And then you look at Final Fantasy 16, that game's performance mode is still all jacked up. It doesn't ever run at 60 FPS unless you're in a battle with a minor creature. I'm just sick of the excuses, honestly, and I really wish that they would do something about this over at Sony. Say, hey guys, maybe you should finish your games before you release them because people aren't buying them. Because if you didn't see, all these companies' stocks are falling. People aren't buying games day one, and it doesn't surprise me at all, considering the fact that you're constantly rewarded for waiting a year for the Game of the Year edition that's going to cost 50 or 60 bucks and have all of the DLC and a finished product. So it's nice to know that the boost mode is there on top of PSSR to make these games feel more finished than they are. We're going to be waiting a long time for developers to wake up and realize this is a huge component as to why people aren't buying games, and executives as well. So in the meantime, it's nice to know we have this great feature coming along with this brand new console. Anyway, that brings us to the second news story of the video today, which is a really shocking move from Sony. It's like a two-parter here because we're also going to talk about the Chroma collection, but the plates for the PS5 Slim. So if you've been collecting any of the few that they've released over the past year or so, all of those will work just fine with the PS5 Pro. And that was surprising to me, A, because it's a consumer-friendly move, and clearly Sony is immune to doing stuff stuff like that lately. And B, the consoles are different sizes. I mean, if you look at them, they're very similar sizes. They're not exactly the same, but it looks like the PS5 Pro might be a little bit taller and a little bit wider, but they've accounted for that extra height with that 3 slat design where like the middle of the console is 3 black slats. So it stands to reason that the PS5 Slim plates would work on the PS5 Pro. Thankfully, Tech Radar reached out to Sony and it was confirmed by Sony that the plates will work. So if you were excited about the Chroma plates and then thought about maybe the fact that you pre-ordered a PS5 Pro and the plates might not work, they're going to work. But that brings us to the Chroma collection, which covers both dual senses and plates, and these will work on your PS5 Pro. So if you don't want that disgusting white color on the PS5 Pro and you're interested in these Chroma colors, which I'm going to tell you about in a sec, they'll work on your PS5 Pro, which is awesome. So the 3 colors available are pearl, indigo, and teal. They're metallic, but they're also like pearl colors. So if you move the console, depending on how the light is hitting it, you'll see more colors. The pearl, it looks white when it's in flat lighting, but if you shine a light on it and then move the console, it'll bend with like blue and purple, which I think would look pretty cool. You know what a pearl is, so it's going to have a pearl effect. And then the indigo is a darker blue, so it'll also have a purple and greenish banding look when you move the console or your lighting moves or your head moves and you get a different angle on it. And then the teal is a greenish color that's going to have very similar banding. I think these look really cool. I'm always into non-metallic metal looks. If you don't know what that is, it's a way you can paint stuff to make it look metallic if it's not. I think this is something cool because it's not something you could really easily do yourself, like make a black plate for your PS5. That's super simple. Krylon spray paint. Make a gray plate that matches the PS1 edition. Also very simple. But getting these non-metallic metal colors is a much more difficult task, and I think the DualSense looks really cool, especially the Pearl one, which is all white. It's like a stark white with that cool color banding. A lot of people say that they'll get dirty, but I gotta be honest, I have the DualSense Edge and I use the white DualSense that came with my PS5 Slim all the time on my PC. Both of those are super clean. So maybe if you're having issues with your controller browning or getting stuff in the buttons, just invest in some soap and wash your hands. I wash my hands all the time. I go to the gym, I wash my hands when I'm done. I'm about to make lunch, I wash my hands. I get some tuna for my sandwich on my fingers, I wash my hands.
This
And then my
nigga here,
controllers
man, he don't know what he talking about. This is the shit who y'all be listening to get y'all. That's why I'm starting this shit. That's why we really doing this shit, because nigga, that is not it. I like this jump. This is it right here, the PS5 Pro debut. I'm fucking with it. I'm fucking with it. Unleashed Play. PlayStation.
Your Ford dealer presents Ford F-Series, America's best-selling.
So the first PlayStation 6 prototype shown off at TGS, the new DualSense controller has launched, and the God of War Greek Saga remastered. Those are the stories we're going to cover today, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. First, yes or no, are you getting the PlayStation 5 Pro or not?
No.
The PlayStation 5 Pro is now just 1 month away from launch, and people have had time to digest the information. The initial price shock has calmed down a bit, and Digital Foundry has released multiple videos for the Pro at this point. So I want to see if any of this, the circumstances at this point, has changed people's minds or one way or the other, to get it or not to get it. So comment below, yes or no, if you're getting the PlayStation 5 Pro or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, new DualSense controller has launched. So, there's a YouTuber that has been covering the revisions Sony's had for the DualSense controller. I wasn't aware of just how many revisions have happened, but apparently it's now at revision 5 for the DualSense controller, according to YouTuber How to X. He's been following these slight revisions, breaking down the controllers to find their differences. To find out what version your controller is, go to the back of your controller and you'll see a serial number that has obviously a sequence of letters and numbers, and the second number on that serial number, according to How to X, is the version of your DualSense. I wasn't aware of this, but looking at my controllers, I can now see that I have version 2, 3, and 4 controllers. The Astrobot controller is apparently a version 4 controller, so this new controller just launched very recently, considering the Astrobot controller launched last month. Looking into the video How to X made, it seems the major focus for the changes for version 5 was around the trigger and making it more repairable, making repairability easier. According to the YouTuber, Sony has made changes to the trigger mechanism on every iteration of the controller. His theory is that Sony's had a lot of trigger-related controllers they had to service, and they wanted to make this process easier. They could also be improving the triggers so they have less of them breaking as well. I'll personally say I've had multiple controllers. I've used my DualSense Edge, for example, for a long while now, and I've never broken the triggers, but I can see how that could possibly happen. It's a cool video. You should check it out. I'll leave the link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the video so far, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community on our way to 150,000 subscribers. Now, diving into the second story of the video, God of War Greek Saga Remaster. Reading from Comic Book, a new rumor is suggesting that PlayStation
tells us that we must watch.
Okay. What is it? Remaster of the PS5. It's the same damn game. They split. Yeah, they gonna bring that shit back out. Yeah, they gonna bring out these remake games. Instead of this trashy remake.
And would use the bathroom.
PlayStation.
And started having to deal with the heathens. I told you I grew up in the country. And I said, what's wrong with these heathens? They don't know they're dirty. You just finished using the bathroom. You didn't wash your hands. Oh my goodness. You nasty. Didn't want to say, hi, brother, and put his hand out to shake it. No, sir.
You don't take shortcuts when it comes to reaching your health and fitness goals, which is why at First Form, we don't take shortcuts with the supplements that will help you reach them. As long as you're willing to put in the work, we will help you reach your goals. First Form was founded on...
The soldiers of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade are loading into the Bradleys and heading out on an important mission. As soon as the vehicle headed toward the enemy, an unexploded shell got caught under the tracks. But the Bradley handled it easily. The crew only felt a light jolt. The gunner sees a Russian APC in the scope, heading straight toward them, attacking Ukrainian Bradley. Bradley opens fire with lethal force. The BTR-82 is being punctured like a can. Watch how it's firing randomly, not even aiming. The gun mechanisms are obviously damaged. The commander's words confirm it. Watch as the soldier jumps out on the move. The APC has been disabled. Those Russian soldiers were lucky. They evacuated just in time before the vehicle caught fire. Meanwhile, the team is almost at their target. The Bradley opens suppressive fire. The Russians are terrified by the Ukrainian assault. The soldiers from the 3rd Brigade are ready for the fight.
This is exclusive Money Buddha content. You'll never see this anywhere else. Anywhere else in the world, this is exclusive Money Buddha content.
The Russians are there.
The hottest motherfucker.
Most of the engagements, especially in the woods, happen without seeing the enemy directly. Part of the team breaks off and moves into nearby trenches that were recaptured from the Russians earlier that day. The mission is accomplished. The sector is under control, but the soldiers know it's too early to relax and soon spot 2 Russian APCs loaded with troops. Another APC have arrived to support the Bradley in holding the position. They start firing at the Russian APCs moving in to try and retake the area. Accurate shots disable the first vehicle, causing the infantry to scatter. One of the Bradleys then fires a tow missile. The counterattack is stopped, and the Russians panic, fleeing from the burning vehicles. The Bradley did an excellent job. The fighters advance to clean out the sector.
Давай, выходи! Чисто! Яр, пусты, Яр! Гранат! Да работай, блядь!
Russians remain in this sector, hiding in the trenches. The Ukrainians are trying to drive them out with grenade launchers. Bullets are flying everywhere. The Russians are falling back, unable to withstand the pressure. Russian recon confirms there's no hope of holding the position. They bring out their trump card, frontline aviation. Su-25s are gearing up for a combat mission. Missiles are being loaded into the bunkers, and the aircrafts are on full alert. This is their last chance to halt the Ukrainian advance. As they near the target, the pilots deploy heat traps to evade Ukrainian air defense systems. The planes fly at very low altitudes, unload their full arsenal at the given coordinates, and return to base. The rockets explode just a few meters away. The shockwave knocks some soldiers off their feet with only mild concussions.
We were attacked by aircraft. Over. We're passing the information to the air defense unit in your sector.
Дай руку, кавун! Ай, братан! Ты шо? Куда забрался?
The Su-25s take an alternate route back to the airbase to avoid Ukrainian air defense forces. But the Ukrainians have already received the intel and are ready to bring down the Russian birds. The air defense crew is making all the necessary calculations. It's crucial not to rush and ensure the missile will hit the target.
You gonna be taking that bitch up, nigga? Why the
missile launched?
they dummy. Stupid striker. Flares.
The air defense operator confirms the downing of one Su-25. Just look, the pilot is trying to control the plane, which looks like a burning meteor. This is an incredible footage. The pilot managed to eject from the burning, falling aircraft. Surviving something like that is sheer luck. He'll soon be evacuated. The mission failed. Russia lost a plane and didn't achieve their objective. The Ukrainians continue their advance.
Wow.
Братан, что сказал? Они уёбывают. Надо быстрее ебать. Уёбывают, угоним!
Exclusive footage.
Цыган, по ним все работают! Шахтарь! Шахтарь, раз! Иду! Крейте!
A few Russians remain in this sector, refusing to surrender.
Це наша? Граната була наша?
Let me show you how you can grow a six-figure drone side hustle right now in 2024.
Mission accomplished. The position is now under Ukrainian control.
Да!
The Bradley is heading to the evacuation point. These guys from Azov rightfully carry the title of one of the most elite units in the Ukrainian Defense Forces. The operation was completed with no personnel losses. The brigade is heading for recovery. Meanwhile, Ukrainian reconnaissance, using drones to scan the area, spots a Russian large-caliber artillery unit a few kilometers from the captured position. The two A-36 152mm towed gun is designed to suppress and destroy enemy personnel, firepower, and military equipment. It's a powerful artillery piece capable of causing significant trouble for the newly captured positions from the Russians. The Ukrainians decided to use an unconventional tactic, presenting the flamethrower drone. Its capsule contains a chemical compound called thermite. It's nearly impossible to extinguish. Alongside napalm and white phosphorus, thermite is considered an extremely dangerous weapon for covering large areas. Using this method allows them to incinerate bunkers and long-term firing positions down to nothing, as thermite can burn through even concrete. Additionally, the charge can completely destroy any equipment, including tanks. Watch how this drone literally sprays this mixture over enemy positions hidden in a tree line. The Russians can't escape from this. The fire is everywhere, and ammunition is starting to explode. This explosion was captured on camera by a fleeing soldier from the artillery unit. The artillery threat has been eliminated. The target has been destroyed. Ukrainian reconnaissance is returning to base. In the morning, the Russians came back to inspect the extent of their losses. Look at this devastation. The truck and howitzer have been completely burned to ashes. It's likely that the thermite-loaded flamethrower charges have become a new game changer in this war. What do you think about the new thermite drone? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and let's discuss how else these drones could be used.
Thermite charges.
See you soon.
Liquefied the steel and brought down the building.
Hurry to Kohl's for 3 days of deals. Take 25% off store-wide. Then find deals on fun toys, floor care, and more. Plus, Kohl's Rewards members earn 3 times the rewards.
I paid almost $2,000 on subscriptions I didn't know about until Rocket Money found and canceled them for me. Let's address it. So me and my wife, we found out we were paying for a meal delivery kit for 2 years. Didn't even know. We moved, so all that food was being sent to our old address. I know. Terrible. While looking through the app, we found 8 other subscriptions that we'd completely forgotten about. Fortunately, we were able to cancel them right from the app, which ended up saving us several $100s a year. They were even able to get us a refund on a few of them. We realized we needed to start tracking our spending better, and Rocket Money was there to help. It showed us all our expenses in one place and even helped us create a budget based on our past spending. But my favorite part is probably the fact that it lowers bills. All we had to do was send in a photo of our cable bill, and it lowered our bill by 20%. I didn't even know that was possible. Find out how many subscriptions you're really paying for. Download Rocket Money today.
We might found our one. We might found it, baby. There it is.
Плюс. Мій позивний Дарвін.
In Ukraine's struggle for survival emerges a new species of soldier. Part human, part killer drone. His body is in a concrete bunker, but his mind, thanks to those goggles, is flying free, searching for something to destroy.
Ну, ти дійсно почуваєш себе так, в кінці взривається. Це ж просто неймовірно.
The drones, called FPVs, first-person view, are deployed on suicide runs to devastating effect. It's a high-risk mission. The pilots are the hunters and the hunted.
Так, тут бажано довго не затримуватись, щоб не світитись на засоби розвідки.
Being close enough to kill means you're close enough to get killed by drone pilots on the other side. They found the base of a Russian FPV team. Right now they're trying to target them. This is a journey into the future of war. A world of young men with nerves of steel, hopped up on nicotine, caffeine, and adrenaline. They may look like gamers, but this is no game. Our day begins at 4 a.m. Our destination,
Well, that's that hands-on. Let's see.
Don't get a PlayStation 5 Pro because you don't need it. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. As you guys know, PlayStation 5 Pro, it's on its way out. Pre-orders have launched and you're either getting one or you're not. But those of you who are on the fence are wondering, is it worth the hype? I'll spare you all the hassle. I'm going to tell you right now, no, it's not worth it. Don't waste your time. You can shut the video off right now. If you were wondering, the short answer is not worth the hype. But if you want the long answer, stick around. So a number of tech journalists were invited to Sony's headquarters to review the PlayStation 5 Pro in real life. They're able to go and check it out and see everything it had to offer. Now, you guys might be wondering, how the heck did you, Anton, get into that tech review? Well, I actually didn't. So I'm stuck here talking to you guys. But lucky for you guys, I have a stable internet connection and I like to read about others' experiences, and I'm happy to summarize what I have learned from multiple tech bloggers who have been there, done that, and tried it. Plus, I can even include a little bit of my own insights into this. Now, first of all, PlayStation 5 Pro is set to enhance in 3 separate key areas. That is better GPU, better ray tracing, and better AI graphics at a targeted frame rate. And if I were to boil that down even further, it's really quite simple. They want to deliver PlayStation graphical fidelity mode from the regular PlayStation 5 at frame rates that the performance mode of the PlayStation 5 currently achieves. So they want to give you the same graphics at a higher frame rate in the fidelity mode, which, doesn't seem that hard. And in most cases, they're able to achieve that with the PlayStation 5 Pro. That's the short answer. The long answer is that most people, more than 70% of PlayStation 5 gamers, are turning off the graphics mode to get better performance, to get the higher frame rates. We are willing to sacrifice the visual fidelity for higher frame rates. So you no longer have to make a choice. You can get the graphics and get the frames per second and get the best of both worlds, which is great. if you cared. But if you're one of the 70% of people who turn that off anyway to get the frames per second, you don't know what you're missing. So you're not really going to enjoy those better graphics. But the hands-on experience and comparison, a lot of the tech journalists are finding that there's still a little bit of trickery. You see, they are giving you a prettier graphic. Sony was nice enough to set up the same game running on a PlayStation 5 and a PlayStation 5 Pro so that you could see side by side the differences in graphical fidelity. Now, the small caveat that not everybody understands is the PlayStation 5 Pro and the PlayStation 5 were actually dev kits. They were not the actual hardware, and the reviewers were not even able to see, touch, or interface at all with the hardware. All they had was a PlayStation 5 controller that was tethered to the USB cord and that forced them to sit very close to the TV. Sitting close to the TV allows you to see the nuances in graphics and the differences, and everyone agrees that from about 5 feet away, the graphics looked different and looked better in every scenario. But when you went more than 5 feet away, more like 10 feet away, all of a sudden the graphics started to blur and look the same. And when you went more than 10 feet, there was really no distinguishable difference between one over the other. So that starts to lead into how do you game? Do you game close to the TV? Do you game close to the monitor? Do you game on a big TV or a small little monitor? If you're gaming on a 20, 25, 30-inch monitor, you're really not going to see the difference between 1080p or a 4K signal anyway. So you're really not losing a lot in the graphics and the frames per second. You can pump the frames per second up and keep the graphics at a reasonable rate. And that's what they were finding was that, okay, you got some different cloud textures that you don't have the same texture going over and over again. The blades of grass got a little bit clearer and more defined. The edges got a little bit sharper. Okay. But the reality was when they were looking at it, it turns out that the PlayStation 5 Pro is actually taking a 720p signal and upscaling it to 4K. The PlayStation 5 is outputting a 4K signal in every scenario, whether you're in performance or in graphics mode. It's just, are you getting the frames per second? Source footage at 1440p boosted up to 4K, it can look a little bit better, but with proper AI upscaling, you wouldn't know the difference. And this is an argument that I made years ago about the dangers of FSR being enabled in console games, because really, if we're willing to accept AI upscaled graphics, then what difference does it make if it was a 720p, if it was a 1080 or a 1440? If it looks good in the end and you're happy with it, who cares? And suddenly you don't need that super hard, high-spec hardware to try and make it look good because the AI is filling in the blanks anyway. Gams Go. Are you paying too much for Netflix, Spotify, Disney Plus, Crunchyroll, Duolingo, Canva, or Adobe? GamsGo has you covered with premium shared subscriptions for a fraction of the price directly from the distributor. Yes, GamsGo is the shared premium experience that you've been looking for that saves a ton of money. I personally use GamsGo for my Netflix, my Spotify, my Disney Plus, and my Crunchyroll subscriptions, and I have saved tons of money by switching to GamsGo. Switching to GamsGo is as easy as clicking the link in the description or up in the title card, which will take you to the main GamsGo website. Select the services that you're looking for and buy it. You see the reflections off the hoods, off puddles on the road, and it just becomes a much more immersive experience. Now, I skipped Gran Turismo 7, mostly because I'm having a hard time getting into it. But when my PlayStation 5 Pro gets here, I'm getting Gran Turismo 7, and I will experience it in the best form factor possible with the best graphics possible. I'm actually really excited to play Gran Turismo 7 the way that I think the developers wanted it to be in the first place. Now, a lot of the other tricks are going to work. You've got TVs with multiple refresh rates. The PlayStation 5 Pro supports that, so that you can finally get the adjustable frames per second based on what the TV is able to handle. It can adjust dynamically. There's a special feature feature called PS5 Pro Game Boost, which is going to increase the performance for 8,500 backwards compatible PlayStation 4 games that already play on your PlayStation 5. So it is going to take your PlayStation 4 games that already look better on a PlayStation 5 and make them look even better. So this is like the PlayStation 4 Pro version 2 Pro. Is kind of what it is, because it's really just taken the game that was on PlayStation 4 in the first place. The Pro made it look better, the 5 made it look better. Now, of course, the PlayStation 5 Pro is going to make it look even better. But also, developers have the option to release high-definition texture packs and updates which utilize all the advantages.
I applied to over 200 tech jobs and got rejected from every single one of them. And then I found out about others that were landing six-figure jobs and...
That's why I keep telling you.
Of the PlayStation 5 Pro. If you want to ensure that you're getting the best experience possible, get the PlayStation 5 Pro. But if you're not worried about the experience as much, you're worried about the price. So many people are caught up on the price. $700, $699 US dollars. It's a lot of money to a lot of people. And those people should just get a regular PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 5 Slim, because you're going to get so close to the same experience, because I've said it in different videos. The visuals were not the problem. Look at the Switch. It is wildly successful. Look at the Zelda games. Look at the Pokemon games. Nobody is complaining about the graphics in those games. Smash Bros. Doesn't look awesome. It's the gameplay that sells those games. And you don't need all this graphic power to sell a game. It's actually a crutch that developers lean on to try and make the game sellable, because it looks so good. But if it plays like crap, nobody cares anyway. So the PlayStation 5 regular games, without being a pro, they play just as good as the PlayStation 5. It just looks a little bit better on the Pro. That's why I'm excited about it. That's why I've got my pre-order in for my PlayStation 5 Pro. But if you're on the fence, you're not sure, should I get one? Should I get one? Shouldn't I get one? Should I get one? I don't know if I should get one. Don't get one. You don't need one. My advice is still the same. Don't get a PlayStation 5 Pro, because you don't need it. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this.
I don't know about that one. I remember that one. I don't know, man. What y'all thinking, man? What y'all thinking? They got the Spider-Man on. What the fuck?
This week, PlayStation released 3 new colors.
So who is the
PS5, tell me why you make your mate decide. Please don't you see I'm blind.
This quarterback won a high school state championship when he was only
halfway up the damn TV on Blood Game. Go back.
This quarterback.
Tell me why you
God damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. That motherfucking Yankee Day, Yankee 5. Why not make that Jonah too? Xbox had the idea, bro. They had the Jonah in the cube, bro. they keep making these weird ass. It basically is a big ass rectangle, but they trying to come up with creative ways to make that bitch not a rectangle, but it's a rectangle. Now they done finally got a way to get you to stand that bitch up. But knowing that everybody been using that bitch laying down flat for all these years. If they was gonna do that, they should have had it. They should have had it scooped up, and they should have had like 5 different pillars.
This quarterback won a high school.
They should have had like 5 different pillars of plastic, and the inside of it should have been a core, and that whole core should have been the PS5, and then all the cylinders came in, and they came up, and then and came out like, you know, like some shit like that, and then that joint, at least that way, since it's all big and ugly, it looked like a you know, a art piece, so you don't mind it being all up in the middle of your motherfucking house. And the disc, you know, you can just stick the disc right on in, and the disc just disappears into that joint, and it comes right on out. I mean, come on now, come on, man, come on, man. PlayStation, give me a job, PlayStation. You bullshitting. Right here, this is what I'm talking about. See, like right here.
How much does he cost?
That shit is
$700.
monolithic.
That's $200 more than you do.
Jump.
You guys know that I can hear you.
The only thing
right?
Xbox
Welcome to the
fucking up,
party.
they not
Now
trying to make
explain to me
shit
how you
powerful.
cost $200 more than your disc-enabled brother.
Xbox should they should do like they always do and start the console wars again. Now that Sony decided they want a motherfucking, I still probably, damn Xbox, man, damn it Sony, cause damn, if they fucking came out with a change their whole Xbox Live platform, you know what I mean, and instead of it Xbox Live, you know, they just changed that shit to something cool. You know, rename that bitch Odious or some shit. Something that when I buy it and get on it, I don't feel like I'm on Xbox no more. Then change it and then have that bitch monolithic like that shit, and then have the graphics damn near like the PC. Because I mean, what do you want? You got DDR5, you got 60 gigabytes, you got 32, you got 64 gigabytes of RAM. You know what I mean? All you need is a little bit of space. We talking about the graphics here for the motherfucking GPU. I mean, come on. I mean, what are we talking really here at the end of the day? At the end of the day, we talking about GPU. So you telling me that you can't slap a motherfucker, you know what I mean, a fucking, what, a 400 series? They can't put a 400 series, tuned down 400 series to get the graphics right? Come on, man. What are we doing here? They don't have, these games don't have that kind of shit anyway. They not at that part anyway. But that's what I'm saying. So my shit would be the most powerful console anyway. Cause no, they don't got that kind of speed and power on the graphic for the graphics. For the graphics, I don't know, man. The PlayStation, man, we doing
You're
the more
probably
research.
familiar with both the PS5 Slim as well as the original, but did you know there are actually 4 different versions? The PS5 1000 is the launch model. This came out in 2020, and it is very solid across the board.
Yeah.
However, when you come to the 1100 model, which came out in 2021, it is, well, a little bit of a downgrade. Now, I've made an entire video talking about it, but the main difference between these two is that Sony just made the heatsink significantly smaller on the 1100. Is it a big difference? No. Is there a difference? Technically, yes. And then there's the 1200, which came out in 2022. This is actually a big upgrade. It has a 6nm chip, which means it is cooler and quieter, and while the heatsink is smaller, it's actually a legitimate upgrade from the original models. The PS5 Slim, aka the 2000, is almost the exact same as the 1200 on the inside. They both share that 6nm chip and the smaller board. The main difference here is that this actually has a removable disk drive. Well, you really can't go wrong with any PS5. The newer models are actually better, even though they all kind of look the same. You're probably familiar with
Ugly ass white one. I don't fuck with white people, bro. Oh my god. Yo, no one heard that. I didn't say that out loud, did I? Oh my fucking god, bro. What the fuck? See, this is what I got. This
happen if I put a PlayStation 5 disc in a PlayStation 4?
Yeah,
Let's find out. I've actually got this game installed on the PS4 version, So this is gonna be interesting. Let's give it a go and just see what happens.
How dare you disrespect? Put that shit down.
Lots of interesting noises happening right now. As you can see, it's trying to read the disc. And it's trying a couple of times. As you can hear it, it's like starting up and starting again.
The new limited edition Spider-Man 2 PS5 is here, but let me show you what's inside. We've got the Spider-Men, both Peter Parker and Miles Morales on the front, and around the back a huge print of them fighting with Venom. Then inside the box we have the controller, which has this black, red and white theme going on, where the left side represents Venom as it's gradually consuming the Spider-Man side on the right. There's also a massive Spider-Man logo in the middle of the touchpad. Then we have the PS5, which comes fitted with the new black and red covers, where Venom's tendrils or symbiotes are taking over the Spider-Man red and inching closer to that white logo. And if we flip this around, the other side is all black with just a Spider-Man logo at the bottom. We also get a digital copy of the game which launches on October 20th. But if you have a PS5 already, you don't need to buy a whole new console, as you can pick up the covers and the controller separately. So who's hyped for Spider-Man 2?
I'm going to show you how to drive your Tesla with a PlayStation 3 controller. First, open up the driver's side door. It should look like this, and then just put the controller right here and set it there for 3 seconds. After 3 seconds, it'll start to light up. Next, just get out of the car. Make sure all the doors are closed. Then you want to come back to this side of the car right here with the controller. And when I press this button right here, it'll start to go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, there's no way this works. The matte black PS5 Slim console covers just dropped and look absolutely gorgeous, but the best part about the console covers is that The matte black PS5 Slim console covers just dropped and look absolutely gorgeous, but the best part about the console covers is that they include both the disc and digital plates in the box. This means that not only do you get a much better looking matte black PS5 Slim, you can also...
Nigga, that's another thing, dog. Everybody in this matte black shit, bro.
I don't speak Portuguese. I can speak English.
Dale mamá con tu tacata.
If you
Use this.
with me.
Use this sound for when you do your hair. This is gonna be the easiest transition ever. Look, wow, boop.
My dad! Think back! Listen, that child.
Pistols, put hold. What? Alright, I'll give you this.
You lie. Sick of.
Well, this is what you can see pretty much, dog. This shit is this is the sad state of America. This is some boo. Nigga ain't got no Grand Theft Auto, man. I might have to do some content on Grand Theft Auto 5, though. He got a lot of views with this.
My home, my rules. My internet, now that too. Introduce.
Staking that bitch, hit you with the blink. Hit you with the blink. Hit you with the tricks. Tell the bitch she better keep me out of fucking mix.
This is an official Pro controller for the PlayStation 5 that you might not have heard of. It's called the Victrix Pro BFG, and it comes with adjustable trigger stops so you can get those instant kills in Call of Duty, mappable rear buttons so you can jump and reload without ever needing to leave the thumbsticks, and a crazy mod.
This costs more.
Yeah, I gotta finish dropping my video. My favorite, my shit. I'm live. Everybody in this shit.